Welcome back to the morning show. Hanging out with our special guest, Gary DeFrange, president of Winter Park Ski Resort, and the man behind a pretty big event for us this year, and that is the return of the Winter Park Express. I know last year we got a taste of it.
We did.
Was that one weekend that they did it, or two?
We actually did one weekend. We had intended just to run one day. It was an interesting story because we were going to try it to see how successful we could be. And frankly, Union Pacific wanted to see how it would operate because they own the tracks, which we can talk about that. So we put together a marketing program, put together a plan, and we had PR all behind that. We were going to run one day, so we sent out all of our press releases at 8 o'clock in the morning to sell the first day in March. I got a call that night. We hadn't even run any advertising that day. It was scheduled to start at 8 o'clock the next day. I got a call at home that night at about 6 o'clock saying the train is sold out.
Sold out before you even did it.
No advertising, just on a press release. So we thought about that for a few days, and Amtrak called me back and said, the train's going to be there.
Yeah.
Shall we run Sunday as well? And we had to talk about that because we had a great sellout, and it was a really good story. The train ran very well. We said, gee, what if we only sell half of the train? Yeah, it's a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But we decided to take the risk because we had a little bit of a waiting list. So the next day we put out a press release at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was sold out by 10.
Boom, gone.
So we knew we had something that was very viable.
You could tell people cared about having this back.
People wanted to be there. So that triggered us to start in earnest, figuring out how to make this thing run. And it's a complicated situation and not nearly as easy as everybody thinks.
Can I ask, when did we say goodbye to the ski train? Because this was had a long history with Winter Park Resort.
About 7 years ago. And Mike and I were there together watching that train go into the tunnel for the last time.
And how many years? I mean, it had been
about 7 years ago.
No, I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, it
had been running.
Part of the reason Winter Park is where it is because there was trains.
I mean, it has been going on.
And from the day we opened, there's been a train coming back and forth to Winter Park. So that was the first time we had
70 years we'd had a train and gone.
I think they didn't run it a couple of years during World War II.
Okay.
But other than that, it had been constant. And the train was sold. Actually, the physical train had been sold. And when it went into the tunnel again for the last time, I thought, we got to try to get something, but weren't sure how we were going to do it. It's a complicated situation. What we ended up, after trying with a couple of small companies, is we ended up talking to Amtrak. Amtrak has cars and locomotives that are not being used in the wintertime. They're big businesses in the summer. So they were willing to take those cars that sit in Chicago all winter and bring them to Colorado and run the Winter Park Express. And we could run it from January.
The train's there. The track's obviously there.
So now we got a train, but Amtrak doesn't own the tracks. The tracks are owned by Union Pacific. And when you think about the complication, what business is Union Pacific in? They haul freight,
right,
not passengers.
And that tunnel next to the resort is a pretty important piece of their...
It's pretty important, and it's not like flying airplanes where if something happens, you can move somebody over a couple of miles and things keep running. You don't have that flexibility. So we were going to Union Pacific and saying, we want to use your tracks, and there's times when it could interrupt your freight operation. But they were very cooperative. They knew how important this was to the resort, to City of Denver, to the state of Colorado. The governor of Colorado weighed in on it. The mayor did. Our
so this
two
is
U.S.
more
senators.
than just Grand County. This is more...
This is big for Colorado. And we finally put together a deal. We had to change some of the way we operated the train for all the ADA access and safety issues. So we had to build a platform. It's 950 feet long. As we were getting ready to build it, we were thinking about snow removal and said, you can't just push the snow out on the tracks.
Shove it on the tracks, right?
So we put a heating system inside the platform. And then we had to do some improvements to the siding in Fraser so the train could safely get in and out of that siding. So we've got over $3 million in the deal. CDOT came to us and said, there is some grant money available and we'd like to participate. So we got a $1.5 million grant from CDOT to do the capital work. Town of Winter Park and City of Denver each put in $100,000, and then an advocacy group called Colorado Rail gave us $1,000. So we had some help in building the capital infrastructure.
Why do people outside of Winter Park Resort care to have the train coming here? I mean, what's so great? What's so special about getting a train to Winter Park?
Well, when you think about it, number one, from an environmental standpoint, these new locomotives are very efficient. They use about as much energy as an average car driving down the road. And so we're taking traffic off of I-70. We figure taking about 500 cars off of I-70.
For everyone that's ever driven up on a Friday evening or a Sunday afternoon, you know how important that is.
It's very important. We're doing it without doing a lot of pollution. We're doing it without major capital infrastructure. You know, $3 million to do this is minor compared to the billions of dollars it would take to lay tracks. So it was pretty quick to get this done. It makes Winter Park Resort the only resort in the United States where you can fly into a world-class airport, take a train to Union Station downtown, and then get on a train that comes to Winter Park.
And that's what is just unbelievable. I mean,
it is unbelievable. We've got hotels downtown that are offering specials for overnight. And it's playing very well in European countries where they're used to taking trains all the time. And they just think it's wonderful because their experience, their fun experience, starts when they get on the train at DIA.
It's just incredible that 78 years ago we more or less were built around the train because it could come right through here.
And now it's
back. It's come full circle to where how important that is to have that access, that you can fly in, jump a train, all the way to Winter Park, hands-free, car-free.
It's been terrific. Their on-time rate has been really good. We've had a couple of times when we had some issues on the rails, but they still weren't very late getting up here. People that are riding it are just amazed. There's a lot of leg room. It's smooth. I took the first train up, and in the morning, people are up and down the aisles. They're talking. They're putting on their ski boots. They're all excited. On the way back, it's very quiet. I'd say half the people are asleep.
Taking a nap, yeah.
Instead of driving down Interstate 70.
Yeah, how great. And I one day a week, I help the Zephyr pick up their guests over at the train on Sunday mornings. It's just the neatest experience to see people getting off and just see the glow and the excitement, and it's just so cool to have it back. It's an unbelievable success.
And Amtrak, to their credit, they did something that probably is costing them some money, but it's a better experience for the guest. They don't just sell round-trip tickets. Everything is a one-way ticket. So you now can buy one way up on Saturday and one way back on Sunday.
So you can stay the night.
You weren't able to do that. Sunday, I went to help load the train, and we load people in the last car. And on the way down, it's actually the first car, who've got luggage. And the line to get on the train, it was single file. It went from the loading gate right behind West Portal, all the way behind West Portal, and halfway down the foot passenger bridge.
So it's been a tremendous success having that.
Incredibly successful.
All right, Gary, well, we need to take one more break. Can you stick around for a small spot?
Let's do it.